Hello and welcome to Artist Talks episode number 12. My name is Anton Valbauer. I'm a founder and artistic leader of Deep Dive Dance, which is hosting this interview. Today, our guest is former member of Nederlands Dans Theater, company he danced with for over 14 years. Brilliant and fantastic artist, Roger van der Poel. Roger is the winner of prestigious Swan Award, and during his career has created and collaborated with some of the most successful and exciting choreographers of today. Without further ado, please welcome Roger van der Poel.
Hi, Anton.
Hello, Roger. Thank you so much for agreeing to be tortured and interviewed by me.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be interviewed by you and reconnect with you after so long.
Tell us, please, a little bit about how you discover dance in your life.
Thank you. That's a great question. My dream was never originally to be a dancer. My dream was more to be actor / singer. So how did this all happen? So me and my youngest sister, we used to always play at home, singing, giving concerts, doing little performances for family friends. So there was always this little bug of performance that I always had since a kid. But dance was never at the front of it. And then when I was still in primary school, I was quite young still, I went to Lisbon to watch my first musical. And that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like, I see, like, they're acting, they're dancing, there's like a whole fantasy world around them and they get to sing live. So I was like, this is pretty cool. So that's the first thing that stayed in my head. My father, he was a hotel manager of a big hotel, and they had entertainment for tourists, and there was a dance group that I used to watch, and I loved watching them. And even then dance was not my dream, I just remember loving watching them perform. And it wasn't until later before high school, so around the age of, I would say, 14, that's when two colleagues of mine from school, they started taking jazz lessons in our local gym. It was like a once a week kind of hobby. They told me about it the next day. They were like, oh, we went to this new thing and it's great, and why don't you come, because you're so good at the sports and you're so flexible, why don't you come with us? So I was a bit, like, what, jazz dance? Like, no, I don't see myself doing anything like that. But to be honest with you, I was also very ignorant in the dance, completely new. And I kind of felt like I'll just stay in the back and kind of try to imitate a little bit. And then the teacher was kind of like, can you, if you're going to watch, might as well do it. And then so they were like, come here to the front. And I was the only guy in the room with 30 girls. So that's how I was introduced to dance. So that was my first dance experience.
Given that you had a quite late start, but there was a point surely in your life when it became serious, when you saw this is something I might want to dedicate myself to.
Curiously enough, how the world becomes so small, especially in my hometown. There was another jazz dance teacher in our hometown. Mm-hmm. He happened to be the choreographer of that dance group that I used to watch in the hotel where my
yes.
So there was this mutual friend who said, you should maybe try this other school, because this other school has another teacher, different modalities. So I did go there. And then soon enough, this choreographer started inviting me to perform with his dance group in the hotels. And that's when, for me, I started to get that real bug of okay, I'm really starting to enjoy the dance performance aspect of this. Then him and the group that I was in, which was called Corpus Dance, we started talking, a lot about dance movies, and I started to learn a bit more. So that got me more and more invested in it. And at the age of 18 or 17, transitioning to 18, that's when it really got very serious. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to get to a good school, a conservatory or university, and I'm going to try to become a dancer. I'm going to fight for it. Let's see where it goes.
Your first job was now, unfortunately, non-existent Ballet Gulbenkian. Could you share with us this experience of working with this company and how it felt for you to be a young dancer entering this group of artists?
It was absolutely incredible because I had just done 2 years of conservatory, so I was fresh out of school. I was older than my school colleagues, but I was young in a dance company setting. So when I joined Gulbenkian, was like, okay, this thing that I've been working so hard for is happening. So I'm now, a professional dancer in the company. And to be honest with you, I did enjoy very much being the youngest in the group, just because the company was absolutely fantastic. I mean, the repertoire, my colleagues, they were just absolute amazing artists. It's a very sad story that they no longer exist, because it was just such a challenge. It was like so incredible to learn from the others. It was, I guess, because I was the youngest and having all these people that were already quite established artists, discovering how to little things like how to move differently in ballet class, how to learn from choreographers in a different setting than in the conservatory, which is completely different, and then how to be in such big productions, and to understand like a production week and stage managers and like dealing with sets and lights, and all of that for me was like mind-blowing. And that's when I was like, yep, this is what I love, this is what I want to do forever. So Gulbenkian was one of the best starting experiences I've ever had. It was
when and how, and also why you have joined Nederlands Dans Theater too.
So NDT was a company that I knew mostly from other people talking about it. Mm-hmm. Because I came so late in dance, and even when I was in the conservatory, I wasn't so aware of like what dance companies there existed. I wasn't very aware of the dance world in general. But it was a name that was always popping in conversations as like, oh, such an amazing company and so great. So I ended up later on seeing a video. It was the black and white DVD of Killian pieces. And I just remember being like, wow, this is absolutely incredible. But I never thought I should try, because I thought, okay, look, you've been 2 years in a dance school. You got your first job in Portugal, which is like incredible, but you will never, they will never take you there. It's not even, you don't even try. So I had a colleague, very close friend, and he kept saying like, dude, you have to try NDT. Like you have a certain body type. Like there's something about you and the way you work and the way you move. I just think you would fit there, because I know some dancers there, and you just seem to. And I was like, no. Years went by, so I moved to Switzerland, performed there for 2 years, and this dancer came to stay over for a couple of months. Again, the conversation popped. It was like, dude, you have to try NDT. Like, what are you doing? You're just trying NDT. And I was like, no, it's ridiculous. I would never get it. And then our guest ballet teacher, Kim McCarthy, and he was there teaching us at the time. So Alain, my friend, he told me, like, hey, you have to help me convince this kid, this child, to audition for NDT too. And he came to me, he's like, wait, you never auditioned for NDT too? Not even after school? I was like, no, I never tried. He's like, what? You should? Oh my god, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. So he literally went online and got like the email of NDT or the phone, I don't even know. It's like, look, I got this online, call or write and get informed, because they usually hold auditions in January, so do it. So I was like, So yeah, I contacted NDT and I explained, listen, I am 21 already, which was, I believe, the deadline.
Yes.
And then I would be 22 by the time of the audition. So I said, listen, I've heard that a couple times in the past you had people of my age that came to audition. Would I be allowed to come? And she said, okay, let me just check. So I think at that time she spoke with our dear director, Gerald Tids, who was our director, both yours and mine. And they said, yeah, let him come. So I did go to the public audition, and it was a very long day, as you remember, because you were there with me the same day. And I was totally convinced that I would not even pass ballet class. And then as, phase by phase, I was being selected, and I was like, okay, this is getting a little serious now, because I'm like learning the rep, and the group is smaller, and everything just like shrinking. And I was like, oh, okay, now this is getting a little serious. So then I started worrying a little bit more, because in the beginning I was like, it's okay, just do it. It's not going to happen. It's a nice trip to The Hague, and that's it. But it ended up, happening for me. So over 400 people, I believe, in our audition, and we had 4 contracts for men.
4 for men, yeah. So 1 for 100. Yeah.
1 for 100, exactly.
Magically, 14 years went by. What this company means for you now?
NDT is definitely a home. It's home for me. I mean, 14 years, it's nearly half my life. I guess it happens with everyone in the dance world that moves out of their home, out of their country, lives abroad, and just builds a family, basically. So for me, this became a family, a home. It's a place where I feel super comfortable. I'm acquainted with, the place, the system, the repertoire. So it's a home. And then I just think artistically, it's been important for me, because it just showed how keeping energy of following my dreams, pursuing my dreams, it just shows it paid off. And I had an absolute fantastic opportunity here as a dancer, working with all the different repertoire, different choreographers, and creating so many new works, and also changing from NDT2, moving up to NDT1. So working with people that I was looking up to, and then working with them, and then just the whole evolution was, I think, artistically, it's been great. Also, then becoming like in the older group of dancers, while the younger ones are like learning with you and working with you. And then I've been teaching for their summer intensives and teaching repertoire. So NDT really shaped a lot of my artistic life, and it has also provided me with like platforms for my current and future projects. So it's been a great hub.
I know it's probably impossible, but I want to try. To ask you to name maybe one special, like a moment or memory that really like pops first in.
If I think, for example, of stage moments, I could give you like a stage moment. Definitely performing New York City Center. Even though we performed, I remember we performed in Joyce Theater in NDT2.
Yes.
But it wasn't until 2016 when I performed at New York City Center that I had... My parents came to watch me, so they flew to New York to watch me. And also my oldest sister, who I'm very connected with, but she lives in Hawaii, so we don't see each other very regularly. And she flew to New York as well. So my parents and her, we all met in New York. And it was the first time my sister ever saw me perform. And also having done a piece that we created with Crystal Pite, The Statement, that I was very fortunate to perform in. The reaction of the audience was so crazy. I think in all the years performing, I never had such a... It looked like a rock concert, like we were, Madonna, Lady Gaga or something. So that was so strong. I remember that so vividly. Like the reaction was so strong, and the energy that I had for the show, because my family was watching, was so different. I remember that being like super strong, and also because of my love for musicals and Broadway and New York. New York has a special place in my heart. I've always loved that city. When I go there, I just love it. Even if people go like, yeah, but it's dirty and it's loud and it's busy, and I'm like, I love all of that.
Your opinion, what is the hardest thing of being a dancer?
I guess it's case by case. Everybody sees dance, and their experience with dance is so different. I can say that I've been very fortunate. I haven't suffered major injuries. I've had a couple. which didn't, fortunately, they didn't keep me out for too long. Luckily, my positive attitude, even those little setbacks didn't seem like something hard for me in the dance world. But seeing a lot of what happens to our colleagues and people around me, like being away from home can be hard. For certain people who are not dancing a lot, can be frustrating. Some people might deal with like body issues or mental issues, and it's hard to deal with certain type of working ethics, or you know. So there's a lot. It's almost like, I mean, in any place, at any job, I think those are the possible problems. But of course, in the dance world, there's a lot of your physical, because you deal with your body. So pain is something, fatigue is something. Yeah, it's just you have to be on such a drive 24/7, and for some people it just works, and for some it doesn't. Yeah, and for me, luckily, I'm a person with a lot of energy, and I love being active and learning and doing a million things. So yeah, fortunately for me, it's been a smoother ride than for other people.
You mentioned performing in New York Statement by Crystal Pite. Is there any other ballet or role that kind of became really close to you, or that you really enjoy performing?
Several, and for many reasons. I can give you a few, but it's really hard to, again, just narrow it too much. For example, Paul Lightfoot and Sol Leon's work, I remember a couple pieces that I loved performing, both in NDT 1 and 2. So, for example, in NDT 2, Subject to Change was one of them. I loved performing it. It was super hard, and it was one of my first works with them. I remember being so conscious of, like, before the show, how long before the show do I eat? How much do I warm up? Do I take a shower like this or like that? Like, everything was so, because it was such a hard piece for my role. But I just remember the music was so gorgeous, and the whole, I mean, you were performing with me, so of course you remember, like, the red carpet. Like, it was an amazing piece. Another piece, Shoot the Moon. I love the music. I love that it has a bit of storytelling behind, which is not always the case. It's another killer piece, but I just loved being in it. And then from Yiri Kilian, I loved performing 2752 in NDT2. And then in NDT1, something as pure as Bella Figura, and performing with a fire, because I was fortunate enough to do that last duet in the fire. So the lights become dim and there's like these two big fire. And then two more choreographers that I've loved working so much with, that had works that were really dear to me. Gabriela Carrizo and Franck Chartier from Peeping Tom. Working with them was very different because it was so theatrical and less of like a dance choreographic piece. So doing something so different was so special, and because the characters we created were pretty much created by ourselves with their guidance, but everything came up out of improv scenes that we all did. And was also a funny experience because I performed for the first time completely naked. That was an interesting experience as well. And then with Crystal Pite, someone that I love working with, creating the Statement, one of my favorite pieces to perform, because it has the dancing side of it, it has the acting side of it, and there's also text, which we, the dancers, don't necessarily speak, but we move to the text. So all of these components were so complete that for me...
What's the matter?
She's upset.
She's upset? That has to change. We have to steer clear of that. This is not about that. It's not that kind of meeting.
Are you going to talk like this? Is this how you talk?
Can we stick to the script? Can we stay professional? Can we behave like we're in charge?
Good. Who is this? Who are you?
This is the guy.
This is the guy?
Upstairs, send him down. This is the guy.
I'm the guy.
What do you want?
It's not what I want.
What do you need?
It's not what he needs.
What do they need?
A statement from you.
I don't see how a statement can fix
It's
it.
the only thing that can fix it. You need to state your position here, nice and clear, or people assume you know what's happening.
Of course we know what's happening.
Then they think you don't care, which is worse.
I do care.
We do care.
And we know it's our fault.
No!
kind of like in a musical, you act, you dance, you sing. There's so many aspects, and this show also made me think of like there's so many layers to it. And then Parade, just because I got to transform into a clown and sing live, which I love singing. So having it, when she asked me to sing for that piece, it just made the piece even be more special for me. I sang in Portuguese, a fado, which is, yeah, it was such an amazing experience. All of those pieces, sorry, those were my favorites.
Okay, and the second question that leads me from the New York experience, it's approximately in how many countries around the world have you performed?
For curiosity, I did count them. I do know how many countries. I'm not sure if I'm missing one or two that I'm like, oh, did I miss something? But I've performed in 40 countries. Really awesome, and it just makes me realize of how fortunate and lucky we dancers in companies that tour a lot are. When you count it and you go like, wow, 40 countries on and off, and some of them repeatedly, and some of them for a month where you go to different cities. So, wow, so fortunate. Can't complain.
Also, during your time with NDT, you were actively involved with Switch. Would you please explain what is this project about and why it exists?
I believe it started in the late 80s. Originally, I believe there was a dancer at NDT that was very ill, and the company created an event in order to get some funds to help this person to find cure and treatments and all that. So I think that's how it originated. But then it became an annual event, and what's special about it is that it's organized by the dancers. So it's not really an event of NDT per se, from like the institution. So it's not like a program that NDT puts as part of the programmation. It evolved throughout the years. What it became now, it's a platform for two main things. One is the charity. So every year there's a charity that the dancers choose all together, something that, you know, is close to their heart. So all of the revenue of that event goes to that charity that the dancers choose. And then the other side of the spectrum of this event, how Switch became like a platform for people to experiment. It's like this lab of tryouts. So basically the dancers, some people are part of the organization team, so it's learning how to organize an event, start to deal with administration, emailing back and forth, phone calls, trying to get funds, trying to get contact the charity, trying to get a fundraising situation to get people to help. And then for the dancers who decide to choreograph is also a way for them to explore. Do I like to choreograph? Do I want to try? Shall I make something just for the fun of it? Or do I want to see how serious this becomes for me? So it's really just a platform for experimenting and trying and seeing what comes out of it. And it became, actually, with the years, it became such a dear event to the audience, because every time you go, it's a one or a double night show, and you will never see it again. Nothing of that will ever be repeated. And it's always so creative, and some are so funny, and some are so serious, and some are so creative. It's just such a cool event, and I was just very fortunate to be in the organizing team, because I love organizing.
Many choreographers who are now successful had their first try in the beginning at making choreography during the Switch event, right?
Correct. So many
also gave growth to natural talent and possibility for those young dancers to become what they are now.
Yeah, totally.
I know that you're very close with your family and your sisters. I know also that when you get together, you also sing together. And it became kind of a little bit a family event. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so like I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, like I've always loved singing and performing and musicals and voices. I love singers with like good voice control and things they do. So all of that just amazes me. And my sister shares that passion also. She loves music, and actually she plays the guitar as well, which I don't. And we've always sang in the house. My mother sings a lot. My father and my brother as well. So we all sing a lot, but me and my sister just always kept being like the annoying ones who don't stop singing, like we don't stop. So with my sister, There was a period she finished university, and she had a period where she wasn't sure where she was headed, what was going to happen with her life, what kind of jobs to go for. It was a pausing time in her career, let's say, after university. And then I remember being like, come on, you have to like promote yourself and then like start singing and start letting people know that you want to do it and contact people. So she ended up making a YouTube channel and started singing. And then because we were always singing together, like in the kitchen and living room, whatever, there was a couple times where we were like, hey, let's do a song together. Like, let's do it together. And I'll open my YouTube channel as well. And then we'll put the ones that we do in duets. Like, so it became a thing that we were just trying, because we were also like, you know, the new world of the web. Everybody was doing their stuff on the web. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. So we did it. And people seemed to be like, hey, this is so cool, you have to do another one, come on, it's so cool, the brother and sister doing it. So that's something that I just love doing with her, and we love harmonizing and trying to find funny things to do, and we just do it very like casual, no music, nothing special, just fun. So yeah.
Can you think of a best piece of advice you were given by somebody?
Some things might actually sound wrong as an advice. Someone once said, never change. Which you would say, hey, that's not good, because like, of course, people need to change and evolve. So, but it was in a very positive note. It was like, hey, just remain true to who you are, because I don't like. It was someone who was an aunt of mine, always saying like, remain how you are, like very feet on the ground, very realistic, and you know, don't get caught up in like celebrity or fame or being important or this or that. And that's definitely an advice that stick to me. And then just follow your dreams. Everyone else has said like, just, you know, go for it, like you can do it, you just have to put your mind to it and do it. So those are let's say the two major big advice, I guess.
Why dance is important?
For so many reasons. For example, for some people, art in general and dance specifically can be therapy, a way to expose feelings, to share emotions, to try to say something they would never dare to write about it or say it orally. And then for the audience perspective, it's also, it can be therapeutic in the most basic sense, where you say it's only to like not think of life and work and problems and tragedy. It's a place where you go to sort of forget about reality, or it's a way to learn more, understand more, be more compassionate, and also to experience feelings that maybe people haven't experienced or lived. Some people come to shows and then they go through different emotions where in a normal life setting probably they wouldn't that way. So I think there's so many little aspects of why dance is important, or art in general, but just like communication, entertainment, conveying messages, experiencing feelings, and being creative also. Letting, you know, it's an outlet. It's a way for people to let things out, and for others to either take it or not, of course.
Thank you for your openness and kindness.
Thank you, Anton, for inviting me, and thank you for letting me share a little bit of my experiences and passions and story. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interview interesting. From me, Anton Valbauer, and on behalf of Deep Dive Dance, we thank you. Until next time.